What's good, good people, and welcome back to the channel here on Crude Boy Productions. My name is BK, and this is the Silly Nerdy and Wordy Podcast, episode number 87, The Sound of Music. And I will be discussing The Sound of Music as I have just seen it on Broadway Live at the great place at DPAC. I'm less than 24 hours removed from seeing this great show here, as many of us have seen or heard the music and the movie. But I'll be getting into the stage version of this. What's going on, everyone? Hope everyone is doing very, very well. Glad to be back doing another episode for you. Welcome to those of you who are new listening, who are new watching. Thank you. I do spoiler reviews, the decisions within the story, both on screen and off stage, and the production details, weave them into my reviews and shout out those people and the roles and the previous works within the reviews. I also do Broadway reviews as I see the show live, some TV coverage as well. And I've just started doing some Blu-ray reviews on older movies and production details and dissecting them now as I didn't back then. And if you like any of that, subscribe to the channel here, and you can follow me on the different podcast platforms. Getting into this Sound of Music review. And I do have a personal connection with this Sound of Music story. Just a quick story. I was able to go to Austria actually back in 2011, part of my master's program. And in my downtime, I got to do a quick Sound of Music tour. And I got to actually see and take pictures in front of the gazebo where the 16 going on 17 song was filmed, as well as where the Do Re Mi song ended up in the garden. I have many pictures and got to do that. So that was really cool. So every time I see the movie and see those locations, it brings me back because I actually went to those locations and it was just so cool. It was a good time back in 2011 for me. But let's get into this show. And overall, I loved the show. It was great. The show is directed by Jack O'Brien, this performance, and choreographed by Danny Medford. The musical conductor for this performance I saw was Jonathan Morrow. The lead was Cayleigh Capaldi. Her vocals were amazing. Everyone's vocals were amazing, but she was the lead. She stood out to me. And Cayleigh, this was her national tour debut. She also was in West End and off Broadway. She has played previous characters as big characters. She's played Rose in Titanic. She's done Frozen. She was Elsa. She's also played Mary Poppins, so another Julie Andrews role. She was Mary Poppins in Mary Poppins. And she's also been in one episode of Law and Order Organized Crime back in 2022. Season 2, episode 11. Her character was Victoria Cartwright. She also had great comedic timing. There was a little bit more comedy in this, just a little bit. And I enjoyed what she did with it. Another standout for me besides the lead was the kid that played Brigitte, and just want to shout out Haddie Mack. She was great. Her character had more to say on stage versus in the movie. Enjoyed what she did, and as well as her vocals. Now, I will be doing comparisons of the film because it's hard not to do. And so they made different decisions and placed things in different areas of the stage version in terms of the songs and the way the story went. And I think for the most part, most of it worked for me. So I definitely enjoyed it. For instance, the housemaid, Elsa Schrader, and Franz in the movie, they had some dialogue. In the stage version. They were given more dialogue to say. They were even able to sing a little bit, which they did no singing at all in the movie. So pretty cool that they got a little bit more time for their characters as well. And the songs in the different places, the Do Re Mi song, that was very early in the stage version that I just saw. That was right after Maria met the kids and they went through the whole, whistle scene, and then Captain Von Trapp, he left the house and it was just Maria and the kids. They placed the Do Re Mi song right away with, I would say, 20 to 15 to 20 minutes into the show. That song was played. Now, obviously, that's much later on in the movie, then it gets reprised. So that was an interesting choice. Another choice was the bedroom scene when it's raining and thundering. After the maid leaves the room and Maria, it starts raining and Maria starts praying, and then the kids start to come into the room, and Liesel eventually sneaks into the room, but they all eventually get in there. The song there they use in the film is These Are a Few of My Favorite Things. But the choice that they made in this stage version, they chose to do the Lonely Goatherd song in this version of the stage. And when I saw that, I, kind of looked at it different, but it worked. It worked in terms of the way they did the choreography. They didn't have the room to do the puppeteering, but I liked the decision there. So it definitely worked. And then they reprised the Lonely Goatherd song again right at the top at the second act, as Max Detweiler was playing with the kids. At this point, Maria has already left the kids, left the house, and he's blindfolded and playing with the kids, and they're also singing that song, but they're disappointed because Maria isn't there anymore. They reprise the Lonely Goatherd song there. Also, These Are a Few of My Favorite Things. It's also sung a little bit earlier, and the arrangement is changed slightly as well. And the way it ended went in a different key. I thought that was a nice choice. And just overall, I think it was pretty nice making the decisions that they did. Also, story choices that were made. I'm not going in any particular order. For instance, Liesel's love interest. At the end of the movie, he points it out and he calls for the lieutenant as he's searching for them, and then he sees them. Well, in this stage version, he sees them and then he turns his light off and he does not say anything, and he lets them go. So that was a story decision for the stage version. And then the Edelweiss song was sung initially in the house when the captain starts to open up. They saved that for the very end at the concert. Just different choices, placing the songs in different areas of the story, which worked for the stage. So overall, the singing was great, especially when they were a cappella. Everyone, in terms of the nuns singing, the kids were great. And I always just love to see a cappella and hear it. And then they did rounds of some of the songs, and some of them were different, and I enjoyed them very, very much. Orchestra was great. The lighting, enjoyed how the lighting was, especially when Maria left the house. The quick transition between how bright it was and how one single light on Maria, it was very quick. Definitely enjoyed that, and just the different transitions of the lighting, what they did. So shout out to the stage hands doing that, and then the sets as well. Pretty good there. The 16 going on 17, there was no circular gazebo. It was a terrace when the two actors were doing that song. A great choice there. And my favorite set was the very last one, as they were going out into the fence and into the mountains and into the woods going up. There was a slight incline for them, showing them going into the mountains. So that was a very nice set that they had there. That was my favorite one as well. The nuns were pretty great as well. Everything about this show I thoroughly enjoyed. It just brought me back. It just made me feel good to hear those songs again. But it's one thing to hear the songs, while you're watching a movie or while you're listening to it on the radio or Pandora or iHeartRadio, but it is another thing to hear those songs live and then also hear them have them a cappella with no music, and then to just have them sing it and can sing it very well, and everyone, it's just it's a different experience, and it's always just great to hear that. So everyone just did a great job. Doesn't really have any issues for me, and pacing was very good. 1 20-minute intermission. And if you get a chance to see the Sound of Music in your town live in person. I highly recommend you see it, especially if you love the movie, which I'm sure a lot of people out there do. And what else can I say about this? Another decision on the stage where, in terms of the story, the relationship between Elsa Schrader and Captain Von Trapp. In the movie, it ends because she sees that Maria is in love with him and he's not into her anymore. But that is not how the relationship ends on this stage version. The stage version, it's pretty much Captain Von Trapp and Elsa. They don't see eye to eye in terms of what's going on with Germany and Austria, and know that story. Because of that and some other issues, that's why they decide to end the relationship. And Maria is there to see that, and then she swoops in, and then they start talking to each other and realize they felt the way they felt after they had that dance. Then they get together right away, and then the wedding starts to happen. So just different things as well. And then there was also a conversation with Brigitte and her father, and Brigitte and Maria at the party at the house. So that was pretty cool for her to get more dialogue. It wasn't something that happened in the movie, and there was some funny moments in there as well. So just different, like I said, different choices for the stage for valid reasons, because you can't bring everything from the film to the stage. Just can't happen. And that is all I'm going to have for this version, for this show that I saw October 10th, 2025. That is the show that I saw of The Sound of Music at DPAC. And hopefully you got something out of that. And again, highly recommend you go and check out that. If you like any of that, subscribe to the channel here. Follow me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the different podcast platforms. I'm also on TikTok as well. All these shorts that come from these episodes also go on to TikTok as well as here on YouTube and Spotify. And with that, the next videos that you will be seeing on screen will be episode 76. And this episode is my review of Les Miserables. I saw that back in July 2025. So that is another Broadway episode that you can check out. Another video you will also see is I provided an update about The Greatest Showman that is coming to Broadway starting next year. It's currently in development. There was a performance last year at D23. I broke that down and talked about that. So you can see that video here on the screen as well. And with that, I want to send all of you good vibes for the rest of your day. And until next time, we will talk soon.